Well, hello. Glad
Hey,
we're back.
everybody.
It's been 2 weeks, and Carrie had your concert,
Yeah,
and that was last Tuesday, and had fun.
it was awesome. Second row, almost center stage. I mean, Alice was right there. And Rob Halford, the metal god. Yeah. Judas Priest. It was Alice Cooper and Judas Priest. And it
Yeah,
was
I got my daughter waving at me.
yeah, and the opening band was something of Conformity, which my brother knew who they were. I didn't, but they were good too.
Yeah, cool.
And yeah, so it was a lot of fun. It was
Yeah,
outdoors and it didn't rain on us. So
yay. That's
but it
good.
was the night of the full moon though, that wild moon, and it was peeking in and out of the clouds. It was pretty eerie looking. But they
Wow.
had these lights. It's in a quarry. It's outdoors in the middle of nowhere, and it's in this quarry, and you can see like they put different colored lights on the rock around that surrounds you, and it's beautiful. It's a really pretty facility. It was just my very first experience there. Wasn't too hot because it just like basically poured down rain and stormed. So
Yeah,
that
so this
wasn't
one was
fun.
good. That's good that it was good weather and
Yeah.
you had a good time. Awesome. What's new with you, Renee?
Not much. I have to tell you, Carrie, Alice Cooper lives in Phoenix, right? He's been in
Yeah.
Phoenix for many years. I just ordered specialized license plates with Alice Cooper on them.
Oh,
At $25 a year it costs, go like $17 of that goes to helping his kids because he does a lot of after school kids stuff and
yeah.
everything. So most of the money goes to that. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna rock Alice Cooper license plates.
Oh man, I'm jealous. I would so get those. I
That's
definitely
funny.
would.
We have aviation license plates, of course, because Dave and his flying,
Yeah.
but that's our special license plates on our cars. So
Yeah, I can't believe there's like 50 different options in Arizona. I told my husband when we played the license plate game when we were little, we couldn't do it now because there's
Oh
every state
no.
has so many license plates that you just can't tell anymore.
yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. So you can personalize your license plate so that everybody knows what you're into. And so you'll have to look into, Carrie, whether you have options like that in Tennessee. I
I
bet
don't
you
think
do.
we can get, I mean, maybe some country people possibly, but I don't think we can get like bands. I know there are themed license plates. Like for a while, I had a Tennessee Titans one
Yeah.
until I decided I wasn't really going to watch that anymore. But,
Yeah. Everything is
sports.
definitely country. There's a lot of, country music is the thing there.
Yeah,
So,
so I mean, I know when I got my plates, when I bought my car, I didn't really see anything that that struck out at me. Like it was fun having the Titans license plate,
yeah.
but
So,
now it's just a plain old license plate.
yeah.
Plain boring, typical tag.
Yeah. Well,
I think it says something. Well, I think it says like, maybe it says like God bless America or something on it. It may say something like that on it, but it's not a specialty plate. I think it's just like you could choose whether to have God in it or something.
Oh, yeah. So some of the states have a few options that you can choose from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I chose to have God in it. But other than that, it's just a Tennessee plate.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we're going to be heading out Thursday to Vancouver Island and celebrating some birthdays, my husband and my son-in-law.
Nice.
And you're not late. We're just getting started, grabbing, just shooting the breeze here.
Right.
Have you had a chance to read the new case studies written by Holden Tudix or Gabe Owners? I have not.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to write those down. And if you have links, definitely put them in the
Oh yeah, for
put them in
sure.
the chat for sure. But I'm going to write that down.
Something new to geek out on.
Something new to geek out. Yes.
Or to, maybe cause a short, my brain will anyway work.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then in a month from now, we've got Hack Your Health. So looking forward to going to that and spending some time. We have a booth. Healing Humanity's got a booth at the conference. So I'll be manning the booth with Ashley from Carver Brothers and probably not doing a whole lot of the conference because I'll be at the booth, but hopefully we'll see a bunch of people. So that's always awesome.
Gosh, I can't believe it's time for that already. That's nuts.
Yeah,
I mean, it
I
seems
know.
so far away. You know?
Hey, Bill.
Hey,
Awesome. So awesome. So for anybody who is new, we want to go let you know we are working through this textbook. And it is a medical textbook. It's called Ketogenic, the Science of Therapeutic Carbohydrate Restriction in Human Health. And unlike a book club, we do not read ahead. We read and we discuss as we go, which is why it is taking us forever to get through the book. We are on chapter 3, the endocrine chapter. And we are on what page are we on? 137.
137.
Yes, starting the section on adaptation. So this is a medical textbook. So it is going to talk about medication, and it's basically for healthcare providers. And so we're doing it because we are geeks, science nerds, and also healthcare providers, especially Renee, who's currently working as working in the healthcare realm. And share, you want to share the name of your employer again?
I work for Verta Health. We are reversing diabetes and obesity in a billion people. It used to be a million. It's a billion now.
It's a billion. It's needed.
Yeah,
Because,
there's plans for us to go global so we can get that billion.
Love it. Absolutely. And it probably is going to need to be a lot more than that billion, but that's a good target.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, I'm going to have to scoot out a little bit early today, just like 5:25, because my husband has a call he needs to hop on. And now that my daughter and son-in-law have moved back in with us, I lost my studio. So my husband and I are sharing an office, which is why I'm at a different location. So, hey, Thomas. Yeah, long time no see. Yeah, I know. I was just on a Zoom call with Thomas.
I say that all the time, like to people that I just talked to. I'm like, no, long time no see.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, good to see you here, Thomas. Okay, so I know I read last week. You want to start us off, Carrie?
Yeah, I'll start. And we are on page 137, section.
There's a lot of authors here. I always
I'm not going to read all of those.
No, I'm not going to read them. I like to skim through them and see if I know any.
I know of Mark Cucuzella. I've heard of him.
Dr. Westman is here, one of the authors.
Dr. Westman is on there. David Unwin. So yeah, there's some goodies that are in there, but it's a long list.
It's a long list, yeah.
Okay, so 3.5.1 Introduction. Healthcare professionals in the primary care setting need to be competent to safely adapt diabetes medications when patients with type 2 diabetes alter their diet. Safe prescribing practice is supported by an understanding of the clinical evidence, basic science, and pharmacology of medications. This review article supports clinicians in the practical application of this knowledge to achieve safe practice. The American Diabetes Association, in their Standards of Medical Care in Diabetes 2021, recognized low carbohydrate nutritional therapy as a viable option for the management of type 2 diabetes. The publication states, for people with type 2 diabetes, low carbohydrate and very low carbohydrate eating patterns in particular have been found to reduce A1C and the need for hyperglycemic medications. In addition, their nutrition therapy for adults with diabetes or prediabetes, a consensus report 2019 states, reducing overall carbohydrate intake for individuals with diabetes has demonstrated the most evidence for improving glycemia and may be applied in a variety of eating patterns that meet individual needs and preferences. For individuals with type 2 diabetes not meeting glycemic targets or for whom reducing glucose-lowering drugs is a priority, reducing overall carbohydrate intake with a low or very low carbohydrate eating pattern is a viable option. Use of organization-approved protocols for insulin and other glucose-lowering medications can help reduce therapeutic inertia and or reduce the risk of hypoglycemia and hyperglycemia. Low carbohydrate eating patterns, especially very low carbohydrate eating patterns, have been shown to reduce A1C and the need for anti-hyperglycemic medications. These eating patterns are among the most studied eating patterns for type 2 diabetes.
So it's interesting that it talks about people who, that you can manage type 2 diabetes with a variety of different diets because of the medications. But it talks about,
well, but it's very positive. I mean,
those who want to reduce their medications are the ones that need to go low or very low carb.
Yeah. But I'm surprised it even says that, because well, and I think, like Dr. Berry has said before, that it's buried like on page 976. No, I think it's actually, what was it? I think they said the page number. Maybe they did.
But it should be like front page. Like
it should.
It should be right there. You can reverse type 2 diabetes, and they don't do that.
It's very subtly stated here, and that was kind of what I was thinking as you were reading this, is that it kind of almost makes it seem like, well, but if it's for people who want to reduce their medications, not like this is something that we need to present to them, that you don't even, this is a viable option. We want to have you on the least amount of medication as possible. And there's a possibility that you cannot even need any medication. It doesn't sound like that's the way it's stated. It's like, yeah, we can control your blood sugar on pretty much a variety of different diets, but then there's those who want to reduce their medication. So then a very low carbohydrate diet is a good option.
I think when you get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, the first thing somebody should do is sit down and say, look, we can reverse this. Let me show you how.
Yes.
And until we get there, I mean, and there's no money in that. Why cure people?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In other words, it's the accepted way is to take medication. But then, if you want to reduce your medication or possibly even get off of your medication, you can do this.
Yeah, if that's,
they just sort of throw it as an aside.
Yeah, they kind of make it seem like if it's the patient's priority.
Yeah.
Not like it should be the doctor's priority.
Yep.
So Thomas says, so eat carb to be able to need insulin, and take insulin to be able to need carbs. What a vicious cycle. Absolutely.
Boy, it is, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so the ADA publications are mirrored internationally by the European Association for the Study of Diabetes and Diabetes Canada. Clinical experience finds that therapeutic carbohydrate restriction or a low-carb diet can be can be effective for all forms of diabetes mellitus, including type 2 diabetes, and those characterized by a low insulin state, such as type 1 diabetes. This review will only discuss medication adaptation for type 2 diabetes. And that's really cool that because most people don't realize that there's a difference.
Yeah.
Right.
It should be noted that rapid physiological changes can be expected, and close monitoring with timely communication of glucose and medication management is essential to ensure patient safety and optimal efficacy. Potential harms include hypoglycemia due to insulins and insulin secretagogues, and of ketoacidosis due to SGLT2 inhibitors. Equally, it is important to consider that carbohydrate restriction should be tailored to the specific needs and health goals of the person living with diabetes. All right, next page. Immediate diabetes and even blood pressure medication reduction or elimination is standard care for patients undergoing gastric bypass. The practice is similar in patients undergoing a very low carbohydrate diet protocol. An example of this was in the DIRECT trial that required all oral antidiabetic and antihypertensive drugs to be discontinued on day 1 of the weight management program, with standard protocols for drug reintroduction under national clinical guidelines if indicated by regular monitoring of blood glucose and blood pressure. The clinical emphasis must be on glucose and blood pressure monitoring, especially in the first weeks. Other examples of studies are listed in Table 3.4 that provide some guidance on the medication adjustments and frequency of monitoring for diabetes and antihypertensive medications.
Okay, so I did not get the images of this. So we've got a table. And basically, just to kind of look at the table, it has the medication. So it has a study. So it's all these studies that study the different medications. So the first column is the study. The second column is the medication.
Mm-hmm.
And so this third column tells you what adjustments are needed to the medication. And then the last column talks about the monitoring of the frequency of monitoring needed to make medication adjustments. So for somebody who's in a clinical setting and is working with patients, then this would be a good reference. So for example, and it shows the different studies. So like one study for insulin, the adjustments, they reduced 50% upon starting the diet. And then they monitored it basically. It says medical team access and active medication. I don't really know I guess according to what they're taking, they monitored. It's not very helpful. Westman's study on insulin said at 24 weeks, 20 of 21, which is 95%, eliminated or reduced their medication. They monitored weekly for 3 months, then every other week for 3 months. So that's kind of what the gist of the table is. Yeah, to show what they did with the different medications in the studies. So
that's pretty impressive. 20 out of 21 people in the first 24 weeks were off their medication.
Very impressive.
Or reduced. I mean, either way, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And we don't know. It doesn't tell you with each, like in this table, whether they were low carb, very low carb, no carb.
Right.
And of course, we know how nutrition studies are, right? We don't know for sure how well people complied, but it's still a good results.
I think if anything were to achieve that sort of a result, it would be considered a raving success, The
whole world should know about it.
Yeah, I think so. Because even if they were just like considered just low carb, even, that would be phenomenal to have that much success. Even if you just reduce your medication, that's pretty awesome.
Thomas just did an interview. Do you guys know George Goodenough?
No.
So he calls himself the self-appointed carnivore ambassador from the UK. Yeah. He's in our Healing Humanity Life group, and he's great. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to look him up because I like to watch. Of course, there's a whole slew of American people, but I watch from all over, like people from Australia and the UK, and I haven't heard of George Goodenough.
Yeah, you have to check him out. He's great. And I feel so bad. I was supposed to this Friday go on Thomas's channel. We'd scheduled this interview for quite a while, and it actually had to be postponed before for some other reason. And so this is like attempt number 2. And then,
I'm going to second that. I had to cancel on him this last weekend because I've just this COVID is just taking me forever, and so I didn't want to do anything this weekend but sleep, and so I feel really bad because I think that was my second reschedule.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize back when we scheduled it that we were going to end up taking this trip for the birthdays. So sorry, Thomas.
Sorry, Thomas.
Thomas says he would love to interview Carrie. And he says, all is good. Love you both. Yes, we love you too. I'm getting back on the schedule. He is so busy interviewing people. It's like getting rescheduled.
My doctor is. I think we got booked out in mid-December.
I'm late December.
Yeah.
On another trip. So I'm still kind of.
Thomas, you're busier than my doctor.
Yeah.
I have my email. My email address for my channel is listed in my Metamorphosis. It's on the screen there, but you can find my email address there, Thomas, if you'd like to email me, and I'll be happy to schedule something with you. I haven't been I haven't been very active at all really on my channel lately. The day job and trying to make do. We had somebody leave, and now we're trying to interview to fill the position, and that's not going great. So, but anyway, that whole thing to say that my channel has kind of gone by the wayside a little bit in light of all that. But yeah, feel free to email me. And
mine is hanging out with yours, Carrie. Our YouTube channels can be sad together because
yeah, exactly.
This is the only activity mine gets once a week with you guys.
Yeah, Bill said that him, George, Thomas, they all passed Dr. Kiltz's coaching class that was, run by Dr. Nelson.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah, so Renee, you're for the 13th.
Yep.
So, awesome. Good. 60 of us. Awesome. All right.
Let's move. That is fantastic. Congratulations.
Yes.
Okay, so the next is managing the patient. Pharmacopathy. Some of these words.
Pharmacotherapy.
Pharmaco.
Yeah, I've seen some of those words, Carrie. I'm not envying you right now.
Oh gosh. Yeah, there's some that I'm gonna butcher. I can kind of see that there are some. So we'll just make it through. I'll muddle through.
There's a lot of words here that
yeah, like that first word on number 1 is bigunides. I don't know what that is.
Biguanides? Probably.
Biguanides, I think.
Biguanides?
Yeah.
Okay. Categories of drugs used in type 2 diabetic patients. Specific medications and mechanisms. Oh boy, this will be fun. A brief summary of various agents used for diabetes and their mechanisms and adverse effects are provided below.
This is giving me flashbacks to my pharmacology course.
Before you get started, I find it quite interesting that the biguanides, there's only one drug in that class, and it's metformin. So why can't they just call it metformin?
Right.
Yes, we're going to skip that by word, and we're just going to go to metformin.
Yeah, because they're doing it by drug classification.
Yeah. Metformin is the only drug in this whatever class. Metformin reduces liver glucose output and slightly lowers insulin resistance in muscles and adipose tissue and can decrease intestinal glucose uptake. Adverse effects can include gastrointestinal side effects such as diarrhea, vomiting, and abdominal pain, vitamin B12 deficiency, worsening of neuropathic symptoms. Wow, that sounds terrible. Side effects can be mitigated with extended release preparation. Extended release preparation. I wonder what that means.
That means that the medication is, instead of taking a pill that just dissolves and the whole thing releases right away into your system, it's designed with it's encapsulated, and so that it will release slowly over time as it dissolves in your system.
So it's a time release rather.
Time release.
The medication is a time release. Okay.
Yeah.
Metformin has numerous beneficial pleiotropic actions, the consideration of which is outside the scope of this article. Well, thank God.
Yeah. And, when I was working in GI and we had people that had diarrhea, we would always be looking at their medication list, of course, to see okay, is it any of the medications that they just recently started could be the problem? And of course, metformin was always one that we would see, hey, yeah, how long have you been on this? Because a lot of people couldn't tolerate it because of the diarrhea.
Oh man, but then I guess they had to take something, and that's awful. Okay, sulfonylureas. Sulfonylureas include glybutride, glibeniclamide, glipizide, glimepiride, and glycoside.
Yes, so they all start with G.
Yeah. So the sulfonylureas.
I couldn't even pronounce it when I actually was learning about it. So
stimulate the pancreas to secrete more insulin. Adverse effects include hypoglycemia, weight gain, and potential pancreatic beta cell failure. Wow.
I'll tell you, I took glypuride when I was pregnant with both my kids because I had type 2 diabetes or gestational diabetes, and it dropped my sugars all the time. Like I'd be in the middle of a shift. I worked night shifts. So it'd be like 3 o'clock in the morning and somebody would look over at me and I'd be like half comatose, sweating, like diaphoretic, like I mean, I can't tell you how many times I ended up having somebody have like, they're like, right, you know how they get with patients that are hypoglycemic in the hospital? Like I have all these nurses around me and all these doctors, and they're like, Renee. So yeah, it's a nasty drug.
Did you have to carry glucose tablets?
I just made sure that when I took it, I had some kind of juice or something close by. But like then that's why are you taking a medication that you have to now take sugar that I wasn't supposed to be? It's not great.
Yeah. So what during what time period were you pregnant? Like when that happened? Like what year?
One of my kids was born in 2004 and the other one 2006.
See, back in 1984, when I was expecting, they actually did put me on a low carb diet.
Wow.
And they put me on a low carb diet once I was diagnosed with the gestational diabetes. But if I would love to have had my pregnancies as a carnivore. I mean, I can't even imagine how much different they would have been.
Yeah, I had gestational diabetes when I was expecting my daughter, and they gave me a little handout, and that's part of my story because I sort of, when I was going through through trying to figure out like what to do to prevent type 2 diabetes. I mean, I kind of had an idea because they had done that, but I was trying to figure out, suss through all the information. But yeah, they did. No white foods, like no bread, no potatoes. And I remember asking them, like, well, what can I eat? And they basically said meat and vegetables.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a ketogenic diet.
Mine wouldn't respond to diet, which is why I ended up on medication. I really tried to do it with diet.
That's too bad.
Yeah, email me. I'll be glad to. I will.
Yeah, his sister's name is Carrie. Hey, Susan. Yes, it's
Susan. Oh my gosh.
Yay.
Hey. Oh, it's awesome. Oh, I love seeing people I haven't seen in a long time. I mean, I say seeing, but you know what I mean. Hearing from whatever. Yeah. That's awesome. Like old times. Yay. Okay. DPP-4 inhibitors include sitagliptin. Sitagliptin. That sounds good. Saxagliptin. Oh, I see a pattern.
Yes.
Linagliptin and allagliptin. These agents prevent the breakdown of the GLP-1 hormone. We've heard of this.
Yeah, we've heard
of it. Lowers glucagon, increases insulin, slows gastric emptying, and reduces appetite in a glucose-dependent manner. These medications have less A1C lowering ability compared with the GLP-1 receptor agonists. Infrequent adverse effects are abdominal pain, diarrhea, nausea, and headache.
Yeah. So, well, unfortunately, it says infrequent, but it does slow gastric emptying. And we know that with the GLP-1 agonists, that's, gastroparesis can be a side effect.
That right there would scare the crap out of me. Nope.
So I don't know if I've ever told you, all of my patients are on a GLP-1. I don't have the nurse coaches at my company all do GLP-1. We do nutrition with it, but so they're all ketogenic, but they're all GLP-1s. The health coach side of it does all of the regular nutrition. So the nurses take care of all the GLP-1s. So I spend every day, all day long, mitigating side effects for GLP-1s.
That's got to be
challenging. There are people out there that I truly see why they, sometimes people need that start, that boost, that, they're so metabolically broken inside. So
I know there's people who, I've heard, can use it as a bridge to help them. But I can see that if you're not coupling it with the right nutrition education, with the goal of not needing it, that could be a challenge. I mean, is the goal to end up not
Oh,
needing it?
Our conversation starts with, we're talking about deprescription before we ever prescribe it. And we want them to use it just long enough to get where they need to get. But in the meantime, we do a lot of education, and we teach them that if you don't change your lifestyle, if you don't change what you're doing now, this is all going to not be worth it, because you come off the GLP-1 and the weight gain comes right back.
Yeah. So when people talk about GLP-1 side effects being kind of more the exception rather than the rule, are you finding that in your?
Yeah. I would say that, the most common are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and constipation. It's all the GI stuff. But we have a lot of ways to mitigate it. Most people do really good with it. And, when you're trying to lose weight and you have a BMI of 50, you'll take a little bit of nausea or a little bit of any of that in order to start losing that weight. And I mean, granted, we're a nutrition first company, and we've had lots and lots of success with just ketogenic. I mean, so I'm not saying that that everybody needs a GLP-1, but the ketogenic is definitely the key.
Yeah. And I know my BMI was over 50 and my fat percentage was over 70. I'm glad I didn't do a GLP-1, but I did carnivore. So, Thomas, Carrie, email on your channel. Yes.
Yeah, I did. And I put it in the chat too. It's mymetamorphosis@gmail.com.
There you go.
And I spelled it out in
later side effects.
Yeah.
3 years, like 3 years down the road. Do we know?
I mean, they've been using it for type 2 diabetes. Like the first one came out in the early 2000s. So we've been using GLP-1 agonists for a long time, but just recently, the last couple of years, it's gone towards weight loss instead of just diabetes, but they've been used for diabetes for a long time. So, I mean, believe me, I see the articles about, the really, really bad things that are happening to people with them. So I really can't speak to long-term. All of my company's long-term studies are on ketogenic diet alone. So.
Well, I think a part of the problem with those too is the diabetic dosage is lower than the weight loss dosage. Like they've increased the dosage quite a bit. So having people take such a higher dosage like that, there's not really any long-term studies on that. Like it's been used a long time for diabetes, but because they've increased that dose, they don't really, I mean, it's safe as we know, or I get safe as we know it, but there's not been any long-term studies at the higher doses, so we don't know. That's something that I've heard discussion about that.
They're doing those studies now. I mean, I would imagine that there's somebody out there studying it. So Susan said, my cousin in England did Manjaro. No idea why she did it. Last time I saw her, she looked great. Heavier than when we were teenagers, but we were in our 60s. If I was that weight, I'd be happy. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of people who are doing it who aren't morbidly obese. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're trying to just like lose that last 10 pounds or something. And yeah, a lot. And another thing that made that drug so popular was celebrities using it. And they were using it kind of off label. And so that's where that trend got started.
Right. We have very, very strict guidelines on what your BMI has to be and your comorbidities. Like we don't just you can't come to us with a BMI of 25 and get it.
I'm sure your company is a lot more ethical about the way it approaches things.
Yeah. And we follow.
The mission is different.
Right. All of our dosing is based on the company's guidelines and the FDA. Like we don't do anything outside of what has been established.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay. Thiazolidinies. No, I know that's not right. I'm thinking Greek. It's a Greek word. It's a Greek word.
Name it Fred or something.
So it's TZDs.
Yes.
Include pioglitazone and rosaglutathione. rosiglitazone. Okay, how many people are dying laughing? It's like, you know what we ought to do is like get one of those, you know how you can just Google a word and then
It'll read it for you.
Pronounce it. We need to do that.
Yeah.
Get AI to do that piece. These agents improve insulin resistance, but can contribute to weight gain due to insulin sensitivity in the adipose tissue. They are associated with many adverse effects, such as peripheral edema, osteoporosis, heart failure, as well as a risk of developing new primary bladder cancer. Yikes.
That sounds fun. We should all take that drug.
So why I would be curious to know why it would be prescribed.
I guess the whole lesser of two evils thing, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe if somebody is incredibly insulin resistant.
But it can contribute to weight gain.
But it can contribute to weight gain. So
plus cancer.
Yeah, plus cancer.
Plus cancer. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I've heard discussions, lots of discussions, and I'm sure we've had this discussion in one way or another about just informed consent on how much people are not told about the medications that they're given. Right. Yeah. Words that you'll never remember, words that I can't say.
Exactly. It is true what they say. You don't know unless you ask.
Yep. Yeah, that is so true. And those inserts are ridiculous. I've actually have sat and tried to read those inserts before, you know, in the tiny microscopic print that you have to have a magnifying glass.
Yeah. Well, we had a lot of the patients that I've worked with, when they do actually read the insert, they just decide they don't want to take the medication.
Yep.
Yeah.
And really the word side effect is sort of a misnomer because it's an effect. It's just that what you're taking it for is an effect you want. And then what doesn't, you know, what you don't want to happen with it, they call it a side effect. But really, in reality, it's just all effects. That's just what the drug does. So I think when people say, well, there's some side effects with this, it's like with statins. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, they classify there's side effects and there's adverse effects. So like when you're looking at the medication, like with the nurses' resources, you see side effects, you see adverse effects. So it's like the side effects are the ones that are more acceptable and expected, sometimes temporary as you're adjusting to the medication, not always, but some, you know, adverse effect means you can't you want to stop this medication. Yeah.
Adverse effect is different than allergic reaction too. So you have an adverse effect,
an allergy,
allergic to it.
Yes. Yes. And allergies are usually listed as under the adverse effect category. Will list allergies in addition to other adverse effects.
Yep.
So you would think that cancer, so that was listed as an adverse effect. There are many,
So then you wonder if that's a black box, if that one has a black box warning, you know, like there's some drugs that they have such bad side effects that they actually call them a black box warning, and they like are serious about the side effect.
They should do that with statins. Actually, they shouldn't even recommend them anymore. There's so much information about them now that I'm surprised anybody takes them. But
Susan must have noticed knew you were going to mention statins. She said she was on atorvastatin and was losing memory and muscle wastage and strength. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they had put my mother on statins, and my dad called me and he was like, there's something wrong with your mother. And I was like, well, what? And he said, well, she can't remember how to check her blood sugar. And I was like, what? And then of course my first thought was, has she started a new medication? And so I told him to go to the cabinet and, you know, see, you know, bring the pill bottles and look, you know, and tell me what they were. And when it was a generic form of a statin. I don't remember which one it was now, but I recognized the name and as a generic form. And I was like, don't tell her not to take these. Don't let her have them. Just like throw the bottle away, flush them down the toilet, do something. I mean, I know I'm not a doctor, but I mean, that was what I told my dad to do. And she got better then. It's
Thomas,
crazy.
I'm sure he means religious. Yep. I hate to say this, but if I was a religious person, I'd be nervous by taking anything called statins, considering it's so close to a certain person with horns.
Boy, isn't that the truth? There's not much difference there.
Well, they couldn't actually call it that, so they had to add a cross, right, to make it okay.
Yes, they did, didn't they?
I don't think it made it okay, though.
I don't think it made it okay. And of course,
to make it palatable, to make it acceptable.
It's complete nonsense. There's absolutely no history showing that's what they did. But, I'm talking to Thomas here.
Yeah, we're just being silly. But, I mean, you never know, really. I mean, conspiracy theories are only conspiracy theories until they're proven true. And there's a lot of them. Hey, Nicole!
Oh, hey there. Oh, you ladies are still doing these lives. Awesome.
Yeah, if I'm still alive and kicking, this is about all I do for my channel much anymore due to the day job. But
Thomas
I'm going to blame it on my day job.
No, Thomas is never silly.
Nah, never.
It's definitely not okay. My statin was a generic of Lipitor. Yeah. Is that a torvastatin? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one that my mother was on, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But it was terrible. Like, she couldn't remember anything. He said, like, she was sitting there to prick her finger, and then she just, like, stared at it, like, and then she was just, like, looked confused and so
when she stopped him, did it get better?
It got better, like, pretty quickly. Like, I don't remember the exact time frame, maybe a week.
Wow.
Something like that.
It's crazy.
She hadn't been on them very long either, from what I recall. Yeah. Wow. It's like, And there was a Dr. Graveline who was a NASA, he worked for NASA, and he actually has a blog. I mean, you could still find it out there. It's not active anymore. He did pass away, but he had been prescribed statins. And they just like totally messed him up. And then he started doing research and then opened up this blog and this place where people could comment and report problems. And I mean, this was like 10 years ago.
Wow.
When like I said, I was starting to kind of dig into a bunch of this health stuff. And it was crazy, the stories that were in there even then. This was like maybe 10, 12 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it was just, he's had several books out too. His name is Dr. Graveline.
Graveline.
Yep.
That's not a good name for a doctor.
Yeah, no.
Graveline. So Thomas's Lipitor was a medication that his doctor tried to push on him. Good for not doing it. Susan said it crosses the blood-brain barrier, got my memory back within a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's terrible. It's just terrible. And it's like, no, this is not going to happen.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. So I guess we've got enough time to do a little bit more. Oh, dear Lord. Meglitinides, we'll call it that, include nataglinide and repaglinide. These cause the pancreas to release more insulin, similar to the sulfonylureas, but with a shorter half-life. They have more frequent dosing and slightly lower risk of hypoglycemia. Oh, well, that's
so no noting of any side effects on that one. But I would think that when you have higher insulin, you would have some weight gain.
Yeah, it is similar to that other one, the sulfa number 2. Mm-hmm. Which has the glyburide.
Yeah. So I wonder if it has this similar adverse effect profile with the hypoglycemia, weight gain, cell failure.
Yeah, because it says these cause the pancreas. Okay, similar to those, but with a shorter half-life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. More frequent dosing. Okay, alpha glucosidase. Glucose.
I think it's glucosidase.
Glucosidase. Okay, alpha glucosidase. Okay, Nicole, are you laughing? Nicole can probably pronounce these words. Alpha glucosidase inhibitors include ascorbose and miglatol. They prevent absorption of carbohydrates and can cause gastrointestinal symptoms, including gas and bloating.
Well, yeah, no duh.
Just don't eat the carbs.
Don't eat the carbs.
It seems simple.
It's like, here, eat carbs. We're going to give you medication to prevent them from absorbing. So they're just going to sit there and give you gas.
Ferment in your gut.
Large poops.
Oh. And Susan said that statins raised her blood sugar. And it was funny because back a few years ago when my doctor suggested a statin, I mean, he didn't try to push it on me, to be fair, but I told him, I said, they've never been proven effective in women. In other words, like there's been no studies for women, and they do raise your blood sugar. So I said, I'm trying not to become diabetic, so I don't want anything that raises my blood sugar. So
Thomas
he
says,
didn't
in
say
the words
anything
of
else.
In Living Color, homie, don't do that.
Right.
See, I am, but that is because my father's side is from the South, and you sound like one of my relatives, Carrie.
You know what's funny is my father is Canadian and my mother was from Nebraska. So when I was a child, I talked very, I don't know, kind of that Midwestern newscaster kind of accent, you know, kind of a neutral accent. But then after I got married, my ex-husband's family was all like people who were in the South, you know, in this area in Tennessee since the boat came over, and they were all just like very Southern. And so I was around all of them so much that I just ended up picking it up. And so I'm just have this very Southern accent.
I can slip into a Southern accent if I want to. My dad's side is from the South, like Louisiana. You know, we got a lot of cousins in Louisiana. I'm like, there's 21 first cousins on his side. So there's a big side of the family from the South, but it's easy to slip into. I think if I was around it all the time, I'd probably be speaking with a Southern accent too. So,
all right. So we have, next is number 7. I think we can get through number 7, this last one here, this one, and then we can start maybe on number 8. Kind of refresh our memories next week. But sodium glucose transporter 2 inhibitors, that's SGLT2-1I. So sodium glucose transporter 2 inhibitors blah, blah, include canaflagazine, dapagliflozin. Okay, I butchered that first one. Canagliflozin, dapagliflozin, empagliflozin, and erdagliflozin. Sounds like I'm trying to speak Swedish. Empagliflozin.
I was thinking more of the Muppets.
Well, you remember the Swedish chef? Oh,
that's
oh my God. These agents prevent the kidneys from absorbing glucose back into the bloodstream so that more is excreted in the urine. They can cause euglycemic diabetes ketoacidosis, even in type 2 diabetes patients, genital, bacterial, and fungal infections, dehydration, and hypotension.
Well, probably because of all the sugar coming out in your urine.
Fungal, God, that's the cure that'll kill you right there. Several agents in this class have been shown to reduce the progression of chronic kidney disease and to have cardioprotective effects. Really?
Well, I'm curious though, like why that would be. I mean, you'd think that lowering your blood sugar would, regardless of how, would do that. But so I wonder what it is about these specific classes of medications.
I don't know, but you know, like GLP-1s, they're finding that they're on lower doses, that they're very cardioprotective and very, you know, they protect a lot of the body, and they're saying that lower dosed GLP-1s are going to be the new fountain of youth, that it
Mm.
will help prevent aging and that it'll help protect heart disease and stuff. So I don't know, I think that we're a long ways from that, but I've been reading a lot of studies saying that that's where they're headed towards in the research.
I mean, if there were something discovered that would, especially helping people who are so damaged, like maybe in conjunction with a low carb diet or something. I mean, I'm not anti-medicine, but I just think that the trend has gotten to be where we just jump to medicine. We don't try anything else to fix it.
No, I wasn't offered anything but infusions when I got sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just sad that it got to that point, but I'm certainly not anti-medication. It's just, I think that there's way too much of it prescribed. And I think that that's a part of the problem and the reason why there are so many other health problems that people have, including cancers and other things. Like there are these mystery, like my dearest friend from high school passed. It was about a year and a half ago now. It was a year ago, April. And she had this disease that was so rare that only like 10 people in the world had it. I mean, it was just this rare thing. And I'm just thinking, what is causing just these new bizarre diseases that nobody ever heard of? Because there's other ones like that'll come up on these different keto conversations or these different forums that you watch or participate. How people will type in a question about something and it's just like, yeah, this is a rare, I don't know, bone disease, or this is a rare whatever. And you're just like, where did all these come from? Well, I mean, and I think it's medicine, too much medication, but.
Well, it could also be glyphosates, and it could also be all of the other pollutants we're putting into our environment and all of the chemicals we're putting on our bodies and in our bodies. I don't think it's just food. I think that we have destroyed our food.
Seed oils is a big one, I think.
And
I think
people
the seed
burning,
oils.
the candles, the stuff they're putting in like it could, I have to tell you, my house is completely chemical free. We don't burn anything I am very careful because I had to find healing. And part of that was, if I'm going to get rid of the vegetables and the glyphosates, I'm going to get rid of all the chemicals. I don't even put chemicals on my body. So
you got to look at your environment as well. Right. And I absolutely agree that, we introduced all sorts of chemicals into our lives, over the past century or so.
Right.
So but food.
I use a tallow soap. I have a friend who makes it.
I still use the one that you gave me.
It's the best soap in the world, man. That's the only soap I use. On my whole body, not just my face, but that.
I'll admit, I don't use soap at all. I haven't for years because my skin dries out so fast. So I just use
tallow soap. Is amazing.
Water can work fine. It's in a
well, that's all our ancestors had for a long time is water. I just somehow, I guess it's a psychological thing. I don't feel clean if I don't use some sort of soap.
It took me a while. I've been doing it like almost 10 years. So, it took a little while to get used to it. But my skin was so dry that I had to do something.
Yeah. And then I use tallow lotion. I use
do too.
On my face sometimes. And unfortunately, I don't know anybody who makes that, but I did find
Carrie's
a couple
girls.
of places. I bought some from them.
Yes, Compassionate Carnivore.
Yeah, I bought some from them. And then I also bought some at it was like they had it every weekend. It was kind of like a craft fair kind of thing that they did. But people sold like handmade stuff and, just various things like that. And I did find some there.
I use an anti-aging from Stone and Spear, and it's absolutely amazing. Like, I feel like it's taken 10 years off my skin.
Oh, wow.
Cool. Yeah. My skin is just so soft and like, I don't know. The tallow, using that tallow soap, I've used it now for about 2 years, just exclusively. Yeah. And that along with the tallow lotions, man.
Yeah. I like it.
It's amazing.
Well, I'm an affiliate now. I'm an affiliate now for Carrie's daughter's Compassionate Carnivore. So use my affiliate link.
Lynn, look at the comments. These boys are getting crazy.
I know. Okay, let's get caught up in comments.
Start with Tom.
All right. Well, let me go back to Susan, who's Accent is Southern, West
Southwest
England.
England.
Thomas can do Kermit the Frog. Okay, did it on a video. Awesome. One of the studies sounds like a paid study Dr. Berry talks about. So
That could be that medication. Yeah.
No one knows the alternatives because wheat bread is better than white bread. Right. They say that wheat bread is healthy, but it's just less bad than white bread. So Thomas says, I was on Mounjaro for 5 weeks, recommended by Dr. Nelson, but it was reactivating my gastroparesis issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good. Not everybody.
We don't allow anybody with gastroparesis to take a GLP-1. That's one of our contraindications.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, Susan, chemicals in the food, air, soil, clothes, seed oils frighten me considering its origin of use. Let's see. I use tallow soap. Now I know, Carrie, your friend makes your tallow soap, right?
She does, my friend Rachel, but she doesn't sell it, unfortunately. But like if I happen to meet people like my friends at any of the low carb events, the low carb carnivore events, I always bring some and give it to them.
Yeah.
She makes it as a hobby, and she said she enjoys it, and she didn't want to make it a business because it would take the fun out of it. So she just makes it and gives it away. So I've got another batch.
If you want lotion and you want to support Carrie's girls, which I always think is good. They're 18. They're little entrepreneurs.
Yep.
Yeah, go and do that. Go on one of my normal regular videos. I've got my affiliate link. Use that, which would be awesome. Thomas, I rub bacon grease in my hair, but isn't helping me grow hair. It isn't. Let's see. I use tallow or bacon grease or butter, then rinse it off. I'm making moisturizer this week and some eyebrow serum. I use castor oil on my eyebrows. I've got you can order the mascara things if they're empty. And I use it on my eyelashes too. And one side has the eyelash brush and the other side has just a lip gloss type brush. And I use it on my eyebrows.
Well,
So, I am 96. You are not 96. Yes, carnivore is really helping you look young. I'm going to try to make tallow soap. Yes. If Rick made soap from iguana fats.
Yeah, no kidding.
Let's see.
Oh, Carrie's daughters.
Yes. Emma's videos. So much energy. Yes. Yes, I'd love to.
Uh-oh. She went whoop.
She was so excited.
I did the same thing last week. I swiped the wrong way and kicked myself out of the studio. But I got to give my husband his office back anyways.
All right.
So
so we gotta cut out. So
see y'all next week.
I'm 59.
Awesome. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good
Bye, everybody. Y'all have a great week.
Everybody. Have a